What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Keto Rewind. I am Jess. Thank you for clicking on today's video. Today is week 2, day 3 of the Keto Rewind Flab Fighter Challenge, or the weight loss challenge I'm doing for the month of March. Basically showing you the high protein keto easy recipes that I'm doing for weight loss. Now keep in mind, I'm not a medical doctor, not a healthcare professional. This is just what I'm doing to lose weight and to create new healthy habits and to keep the momentum going in my journey. So with that said, if that sounds inspiring to you, do you want more weight loss motivation or weight loss inspiration? Use that link down below, turn on those notifications so you don't miss any videos. Now, I have a super busy day today. Oh my goodness. It's almost overwhelming considering I'm doing this challenge with all the filming and trying to squeeze everything in. So I'm just taking a few minutes to just like breathe today. So I'm gonna make things priorities, and what's a priority right now is this journey. So I will squeeze it all in, I'll breathe, and I'll figure a way to get it done. And the few minutes of spare time I may have, I'm gonna fill it with reading a book. My kids have read through, I think, book 3. My girls are 9 and 7.5, so they've watched the movie, so I'm way behind. I've not read any of these. So this is the first book of the Harry Potter series, and I'm inspired by my kids. So I needed a good book to read, and I have not read these. I've been waiting until the time my kids actually started reading the series, and I'm one of those people, read the book first before you watch the movie. So I am finally at that point. So being that I'm on a time constraint today, this video is short and sweet to the point, but it is a full day of eating a high protein keto lifestyle. So anyways, let's jump into today's video. Okay, so it is day 3, and we're gonna start off lunch with a omelet. I am just going to put a half tablespoon of butter here in the pan so it melts, and then put these ham slices in. I'm making some for Kyle in addition to me. And I'm gonna cook those in butter. It gives that omelet, it's just a plain 3 egg whites with 1 whole egg white style omelet, some flavor, and then I'm just gonna put cheese in it today. I don't have time to be fancy, so it's just about getting it done. So I'm making that into a nice 1 ounce of cheese, that is, omelet, and here's the finished product. So I have my Canadian bacon. This is a different brand, so the slices are thicker. But lunch is going to be basically reheating those leftovers from last night. So anytime you have meat or something left over, throw it in a stir fry or just reinvent it. So this is the leftover tri-tip that I have. It has a great flavored crust on the outside, so it's gonna flavor my stir fry really nicely. And I just cook it up in real small pieces. This way it makes the stir fry all taste, the texture, great. So after cooking these, or reheating the tri-tip, I'm just gonna scramble, I'm making this for me and Kyle, 2 whole eggs, and I'm gonna season it with salt and pepper, and just going to scramble those eggs up until they're cooked through. And then at that point, I'll just add in slowly the tri-tip, so it's like a little bit of a scramble. And I have the leftover stir fry or vegetable stir fry last night, and this was gonna make a great new pairing. So I have 2 servings of stir fry left over, and I'm just gonna mix everything all together. And I'm not really cooking it at this point, I'm just reheating it. So, but again, this is 2 servings for me and Kyle, and it's a really high protein lunch that'll help keep me full and satiated for my busy day. So anyways, I'm gonna add a little bit of sriracha. It really makes this dish taste awesome, and I had a slight issue with trying to get this to squirt. I ended up taking the bottle off and squirting some more on there. So I got a clog in my top of the tip of my sriracha that I gotta dig out. So anyways, mix that all around, and the sriracha is gonna add a lot of flavor without adding hardly any calories, very minimal carb. So that's a great bonus condiment that you can use to just give extra flavor to your dishes. So I'm gonna put the lid on, let that finish steaming, and it is time to serve it up. So I was eating halfway through before I remembered I didn't take the picture. So, but it was such a delicious reinvented lunch. Okay, so from what you see here is going to be meatloaf. So I have 3 pounds of 8515 ground turkey. Basically the same ingredients that you'll see on most meatloaf recipes. We have Italian seasoning, salt, garlic powder, onion powder, black pepper, Parmesan cheese, almond flour, eggs to hold it together, and sugar-free ketchup for on top. So I will go ahead and assemble this delicious meatloaf. All right, so I'm gonna start off with the spices. I have 2 teaspoons of onion powder, 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, 2 teaspoons of black pepper, 2 teaspoons of salt, and 2 tablespoons of Italian seasoning. So now I'm gonna put a 1/2 cup of almond flour. And to help hold it all together, I always go a 1/2 cup of Parmesan cheese. This acts like the flour. And then a good rule of thumb is to do, for every pound of meat you have, you do eggs. So I'll save you the effort and we'll add 3 eggs. Okay, so 3 eggs. And I'm just gonna mix this mixture up right here. I find it's just easier to mix it into your meatloaf when everything is mixed up here. So you don't want a big bite of salt, you know, so it just evenly mixes it. So now that we have this mixed up, I'm gonna add in our meat. Let me find some scissors. All right. And for this part, we're switching to hands. It's way easier. And whatever leftovers I have is going to turn into meatloaf croutons for dinner tomorrow. And if you haven't heard of my meatloaf croutons, you're in for a treat. And you know everything's mixed in well when you don't see the yellow mixture anymore. Meanwhile, I'm going to spray a baking pan with avocado oil. This way it can go right into the oven. Okay, so that's what we look like all mixed up. Now, to save up the cooking time, I'm gonna make this into 2 smaller meatloaves, and that's because one big honkin' one takes so long to cook, and I don't have that kind of patience or the time today, so I will bring you over to the tray. All right, so our next step is just to cover the top with some unsweetened ketchup. And that makes this more of an Italian style meatloaf. All right, and now into the oven it goes. And we'll go to the next part. Okay, so I'm gonna make a squash casserole. I have random vegetables left over. I have some cream cheese, boursin, regular cheese, and then I'm gonna grab a butternut squash and put a couple pieces in too. So this is a red onion. We have sweet peppers and squash. So I'm gonna get to chopping and I'll meet you at the next step. Okay, so I have 734 grams of zucchini. And next I'll move on to the next ingredients. Okay, and next up we have the red pepper. Zero out the scale, add it to our big pot here. And I have 110 grams of sweet peppers. Then we have purple onion, or I'm sorry, red onion, whatever you want to call it. Zero the scale, add it to the bowl. And last ingredients will be the butternut squash. Look at all the color, isn't that so pretty? Okay, and now add the butternut squash. And we have 350 grams of butternut squash. Beautiful, huh? All right, to speed cooking time up, I'm gonna put it in my Instant Pot just to soften the vegetables. And some water. I'm gonna put the lid on and steam it, and I'll be back at that step. All right, and while that is in the Instant Pot steaming, I pre-measured all the ingredients. I have a cup of cheese. I have your choice. This is a cheddar blend. I have a block of cream cheese, a block of Boursin cheese, Italian seasoning, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, and Parmesan cheese. So when that comes out, I'll mix it all together and it'll be ready to go. And here we are, fresh out of the oven. I cooked it at 400 degrees for around 45 to 50 minutes. And I drained some of the oil out midway through and I did a temperature check. And that just helps make it get a little crust on the outside. Okay, so now I strained it out of that excess liquid and I'm gonna add in this and give it a good mix. And that is all there is to it. And then you're gonna adjust salt and pepper to taste. Doesn't that look delicious? All right, and now it's time to assemble our plate. All right, folks, I am off to the post office, then I'm off to the grocery store to get stuff for tomorrow's video, then I'm off to getting my kids from school, then I'm taking them to practice, and then we repeat everything all over tomorrow. So I will see you tomorrow, and I hope you're enjoying these videos. I'm Jess, you're watching Keto Rewind. Bye-bye!